how are you doing? Welcome to my channel. My name is Lemme. Guys, today I'm going to be sharing with you a simple and interesting project which is going to be involving some of the previous tutorials I've done. So as usual, the links are going to be in the description in case you will need any more details than what I am going to present today. So with that, I hope you enjoy the project and let's get into the project. Okay guys, so this is where we're going to start from. So like I mentioned earlier, I won't be going into the details of drafting the bodice / blouse pattern and the bustier pattern. There's a link in the description for you to do that. There's a link in the description for you to do that. So once you just do that, I think we're good to go. So generally for this one, so what I'll just do basic explanation, you understand. Now, like if you check the video for how to insert the yoke, I also have the link for that in the description, of course. Here, normally this dart that is here is 1.5 for me. Up here it's also supposed to be 1.5, but because I'm going to use the bustier as a blouse foundation, the chest, you know, the dart on the chest area for the bustier is the way it is so that it will hold on to your chest and not have any issue with that. You will not have any issue about it slipping or something. So because this is a blouse, what I'm going to have here is just 1 inch to ensure that it flows with the yoke, the tool that is going to be here over my shoulder and not just be tight here. So what I'm using here is 1 inch. Then this is my hip level. Of course, this is my upper chest, my bust points, my under bust, my waist and my hip. But I don't want the blouse to get to my hip, so it's going to end up. I wrote hem here, so this is where the hem of my blouse, but I don't want it to I don't also want it to be cut straight, so that's why I drew this curve line there using my curve rule. I just put it there and that is what I did. Then the sewing allowances, like, you know, by the side seams, I included those allowances into the blouse. So these are deep set yoke. This is where it's going to end. It's about 1 inch below my under bust, just about 1 inch below my under bust. Yes, about that. So that is all you need to pay attention to. Then for the back, also the same thing. What I did, this is the hem of it. I took my dart. Then this is my zip allowance, which I have adjusted 2 inch up was where I made the adjustment to prevent zipper bulge. Then the dart, of course, if it was a bustier, proper bustier, is supposed to end, let's say about 1.5 inch below the armhole. But what I mean, because I'm going to be putting sleeves, so it has to end. I have to have my proper. I don't want my yoke to go under my arm. You understand? I don't want to cut the yoke and then go under the arm. So it will be the bustier. Parts of the bustier will make up the armhole. So I left it. So if you check the video on how to fix your yoke, you'll notice that I usually leave it here until when I have included the yoke to the main body. Then I'll have my armhole. So this one, of course, the back you can include the armhole because so I can, if it was a bustier, to start from somewhere here. But because I want to include the yoke at the back, I'm making my own V. I'm not going to make it round neck, so I'm going to make it a V. I've adjusted the back, and this is also the hem of the blouse from the back. So it's also curved. The waist, I've done the normal adjustment, the midpoint between this and this, so that is for that. So what we'll do now, so this is the fabric I'm going to be using. This is a nude tool for the yoke, and I'm going to be doubling it. I'm not going to just put it single so that it will be. Then this is, I'm going to use this satin to line the lace, and this is our lining. So that is what we are going to be using. Then for the sleeves, funny enough, I have not decided if I should use, anyway, when we get to the sleeve part, I'm going to explain the sleeves for you. I'm going to be using this for the yoke and for the sleeves. So I will go ahead and cut the pattern, then we will cut and place it on the fabric and cut them out so we can proceed with our sewing. So I have finished cutting the pattern, and this one is for the front. This is for the front. So we have our yoke, deep set yoke. So if you notice, like I always say, label, half inch. We are going to include half inch all around this place. Then this is, and it's when you look at the shape, you will know that this is the center front, is written the center front, side front, under bust. Then this place where I marked, this place, I kind of put a mark here, is to know where the yoke is supposed to start from. So of course, normal, like I always say, label, plus half inch, plus half inch, plus half inch, plus half inch, plus half inch. So that is for the back. It has, sorry, this is for the front. It has center front and it's on fold. This one is going to be on fold. You know, usually for on fold you put curved arrows. So this is on fold, but this is not on fold. This one it's supposed to be on fold, but because the yoke is deep set, it's going below my bust point, so you have to join it at the middle here to make it easier and neater. So you're going to be putting a line in to make it easier. So this is for the front, then this is for the back. This is our yoke. This is our yoke for the back. Like I told you, like if you watch the video on how to insert add your yoke, I did this V-neck instead of leaving it straight. So plus half inch. Then this is our side back, plus half inch, you understand, plus half inch, of course. Always label, plus half inch. Then this is our zip allowance. Remember, even if you adjust it for the zip, you still have to create like a new line where the zip is going to go through. So plus half inch. This is our center back. So if you're not careful, you know there are some people that might be a little confused with where is the top, where is the bottom, you understand? So sometimes they always emphasize on labeling. This arrow, this side back, now anybody will know because of the armhole and the shape by the side. But this center back, it could easily be confusing. So that's why I put the arrow here to let you know that, to let anybody that sees it know that this is the one part that's supposed to go up, and this is the hem. You understand? So this is for the back. So of course this detailed video on sleeve, drafting your sleeve pattern, but the only thing that was not included is finger loop. Like the finger loop, how you get the position for your finger loop, you come here, you know this is the green line for your sleeve, this is the front and this is the back. You understand? So if you watch the video on how to draft your sleeve pattern, it will be clearer to you. Now this, of course, the finger loop is going to be at the front. So how you get the position for this, you do 2 inch from your outer seam. You come inside 2 inch, then you mark. You know, I'm always using letters to label the hand because they are the sleeve pattern, because there are lots of details to be memorized. So let's just use 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 points. Let's just say A, B, C, and D. You mark 2 inch from your outer seam. You call that A. Then you come to this your C, A, B. Remember, sleeve video, sleeve pattern video. Let's say this is B. So from the center grain, or let's say 2 inch from here, A. Then from the center grain of your sleeve, you take it 1 inch inside. We'll call that B. Now from this place, you take it down 1/4 or 1.5 inch. This is actually 1.5 inch. So it's either you do 1/4 or 1.5 inch. You take it down. Then when you have done that, you link it. You will now, when you take it down, this is A, B. You take it down C. So you use a line and join A, B, C, and join A to C, and this place to, this was T, yeah, this was T in our sleeve video, pattern video. So you join it, so that gives you your, you know, that bridal sleeve, that wedding dress sleeve. That's what gives you that V that you now attach your finger loop to. So that's why I had to bring this in, so you guys will see how I did that. So remember, if you can recall, from the outer seam you take 2 inch inside, then from the sleeve grain line you take 1 inch, from that 1 inch you take it down 1.5 or 1/4 of an inch, then you join this place A to C and join this T to C, and that is what gives you. Then you attach your finger loop to this point. So that is where I had to get. So after cutting the pattern, the next thing we are going to do, we are going to place our, oh yeah, and this is the applique I'm going to be using on it. I didn't show you guys the other time, so I said let me show you now. But it's supposed to be a sew along, so you're supposed to see. This is the applique I'm going to be using. So the next thing to do is to place our pattern on our fabrics and cut them out. Remember, the satin, the lace and the lining are all going to be cut exactly the same way. So let's get cutting. So I'm done cutting everything. So this is the center front. It's in here, 1/2 inch here. So I've cut the lining, the lace, and then this is the satin that we use to line with this thing. It's a blouse, so of course you know the best I can get a fit from the blouse is when it's well stabilized. That's when you have it. And I've put hairstay into the lining and into the satin also, so that everything, and the lace is not a very light lace, as they call it thick. So that is it. This is for the center front, the side front, and of course I used the pattern to cut the lining and the satin first. When I was done putting the hairstay into it, when I was done putting the hairstay, applying the hairstay on them, then I used the satin to cut the lace. So that is actually the process. But if you want to cut everything together, of course you can do that, but I just feel that sometimes, you know, some of these hairstays, there are some that could actually shrink your outfit. Yeah, there's some that, because you have to apply so much heat on them, they could shrink it. So I usually prefer, and sometimes if that kind of heat might not be too good for the lace, you understand it, when you're applying, even if you're applying it on the satin, sometimes the heat that you might apply, you used to apply it to the satin to ensure that it stays, might be too much for the lace. So I prefer, if I have to add it first, then I use it to cut the lace. So that is this. This is the center front, this is the side front, side back, then center back. Of course, the center back is always notched. You always have to ensure that it's notched. So that is it. So now the next thing we need to ask ourselves is, how do you join the satin to the lace? Now, if you want to join the satin to the lace, it's either you do this. You could decide to sew it down. For example, there are some times that when you're trying to sew it down, which of course is faster, you could decide to sew it down as well, stitch it round to have it stay there. If that doesn't work, no, or you could prefer to use Google gum or B6000. You understand? Sometimes I use it. Sometimes all you just need to do, you apply it. To me, I apply it at the edges, and where you know that, in case it decides to change color after a while, it doesn't show. So you can do that, and it's stuck. You understand? Take it to your sewing machine and sew it round. So that is how you apply. So of course the yokes I doubled them. So this is our yoke, the back yoke, and of course we put the 1/2 inch. I doubled the yoke. This is our front yoke, also doubled. So this is our front yoke, and this is our sleeve. So of course this is the sleeve, and this is the triangle that where we'll be applying our finger loops. So this is it here. So this is the sleeve. I've cut the sleeve. Then this is also for the. It's also I've cut this one out. It's also for the structured sleeve by the side. This is going to be the inner one. So I just used paper stabilizer for this one, and I use hairstay for the front one. So when we get to when we are supposed to fix the sleeve, I'll show you how that one too is equally done. So I have cut everything. So the next first of all do is join my lace. The first thing is first, I'll join my lace to the satin. Then when I'm done doing that, I'll turn it's supposed to be a sew along, so let me just let you know in case you might forget. When I join the lace to the lining, I'll join the yokes. Because the yokes are double, so I have to join them together to ensure that I don't have pieces hanging around. Then after doing that, I'll join the whole lining. Let's go and sew. So I've sewed the back, I've joined everything, and this is the front. This is one side, this is the other side. This is the part where I will need to be more detailed, and this is the yoke that is going to go in. Remember, where the yoke stops is supposed to be notched. Remember to go and use the link in the description to watch on the video on how to fix your yoke. Then this is the yoke. Because this fabric is really thick, if you notice, I had to top stitch here because this net is really thick, plus the satin and the hairstay. So if you iron it, it will still be flat, of course, but I prefer, since I top stitched it. Then the bust also, but I didn't put if you watch the video on how to cut a bustier, I put wording in the bust area. Like I always say, is that you can put wording or you put ready-made breast pad, but this one now I just don't bother. But you can always, but for yours you can always do that. So this, I've joined the both of them, top stitch it. I had to notch it and sew on top. So that is why it is like this. So the next thing is to fix our yoke. I did put the breast pad, but you can see that it's still standing and it will still fit properly without being overly hard. So it will still fit. Once you cut it well, it will stand. Whichever way you did, when you wear it, you will still have a good fit, as long as it's the side. So okay, there's one part I forgot to tell you guys. Always notch under your bust. You understand? When you're joining the pieces together, the various panels together, at least one guide you can use is the notch you put under your bust. Like here, I had the notch under my bust. Then also, I notched where the yoke is supposed to end. You understand? That is going to guide me when I'm fixing it, when I'm inserting the yoke together. So that is that for the front. Then when we do that, now we have put our yoke, we have fixed our zip, remember the video, use the link in the description to watch how we fix our zip. So we fix this zip like this, and we fix this. So what I did first of all was that I joined it here first. Okay, there's a point I passed that you shouldn't miss. When you finish cutting everything the same way, remember to reduce your lining by ½ inch. Your lining should be ½ inch shorter than your main outfit. So if you notice here too, I did top stitch it. You know, there are sometimes that if your top stitching cannot be straight or even, please do not top stitch. If not, it will not look nice. Your stitches should be even and your top stitching should be straight. But what I do to ensure it's straight is that I use the presser foot, put it by this line. You understand? The seam line, the joining line, and that ensures that I have a straight top stitching. So that's why I had to, like I told you, the net is quite thick, plus the satin that is underneath it made it really thick. So this one ensures that everything is flat and in its place. So I have inserted the yoke, like I told you. For the yoke, it's either you do it straight or you do it V. So I chose to do it V. So this is for the sleeve. The sleeves, those sleeves can either be inserted in between it or it can be sewed on top. But what I want to do, I will be sewing mine on top. You understand? On top of the outfit, not inside the seam line, because sometimes when you fix those, when you make those sleeves, those big sleeves, they can either be inserted inside your side seams. It's your choice, whichever way you want to do. It can be inside your side seams or it can be on it. You understand? You can just put it on top and it stands. So that one, of course, is another step on its own, which we are going to do. So one thing you should note is that for your yoke, it's good you notch, like if you notice here, as is like this, it's good you notch where this dart is. So you will match it with this one, like where it is now. You understand? It will be matched with this one. You understand? If you match it with this one, you now know that you have everything straight. So you notch it. Remember, this has the ½ inch. So you notch this part where this dart went through. You notch it so that you can match it with this place. What we are going to do next is that we are going to join the yoke at the front. When we do that, we'll join the side seams. I'm going to be sewing the big sleeve on top, the side seams and the shoulder. So let's go and have that. So let's go and have that done now. have put the yoke, the front yoke, the back yoke. This lace is kind of really thick, so I should have used like taffeta or this light raw silk line the lace, because the lace is really thick, plus the hairstyle and everything, so it has really made the blouse look very, I don't know whether to say bulky or something like that. But like I told you guys, because of the thickness of everything, that's why I didn't put any wording or this thing, normal wording or ready-made breast pad. But the picture I've seen is when before I put the sleeves, I just wore it and took a picture with it to show you the fit, or fit it out to show me. So right now I have done the sleeves, I have done the wedding gown sleeves, I've put the finger loops. I showed you the pattern of how I did it. I've done the finger loops, put the finger loops, I've put the finger loops here also. So this place is divided into two. So the way you will turn it is this. So this is the inner, I've not yet. You turn it, you first of all come this way. You don't sew to the very end. You understand? You don't need to sew to the very end. You give like half inch. Then when you give like half inch, you turn one side. You have to turn because it's separated here, so there's no way you can turn it all them. And you open the side seams. If you notice, I've not sealed the back. You open the side seams, because when you turn the side, you open the side seams. Then you put it under your sewing machine and top stitch it, or you use your thread and needle to do that. So that is what I'm supposed to do. That is what I did to turn it down. So you have to, when you give like half inch here, then with your zipper foot like I did for this place, you just turn it from here, and that is all you need to do. So what I want to do is explain to you the standing sleeve. Now this standing sleeve, the interesting thing about the standing sleeve is that this is the front, the one with hairstyle, and this is the back. Now how this will be done, to make the sleeve stand, you can either use crinoline, or you can either use crinoline or bone. So how I will do that, because guys, honestly, I'm kind of tired, but I need to finish this project, you understand? So I will sew this together. I'll sew this together, and I will include like a bias strip inside of it on this paper side, because it's either you use crinoline, you know, the normal crinoline for petticoats. This is also a crinoline, that is also a crinoline. That is like, it's like your nets, but it's actually called a crinoline. You sew it, I'll sew it together, or I'll just quickly tell you the process. I'll sew it together half inch, then just below the half inch, you understand, I'll put a bias strip, which I can easily slip this into, slip this boning into the bias strip. So that is what will hold it standing up. Then when you're sewing it, you make sure it does not get, like I told you guys, this sleeve can easily be put immediately after your sleeves. It can be put into your side seams, or you can sew it on top. And I don't want to put it into the side seams, so what I want to do, I'm going to be sewing it on top, you understand, at the front and at the back. So the good thing about it is that it's flexible. have it. So I fixed this other hand. So you can see all I just did was just to pleat it and fix it. So you can decide to do it around your armhole. You understand? You can decide to do that around your armhole. It will look more like cold shoulder. And if you do it directly beneath your armhole, it's just like flexing. You understand? So the only thing that's left for me to do now is to put this applique on it, and my intention is to just shred it into little bits and then tack it down here and on the arms around the neckline, so and that will be it.